Hi, welcome back. I have a couple of shares with you today, this new journal that I just finished, as well as a bunch of these little mini journals. If you will recall, in my Coptic binding video, I was in the process of binding up the text, or sewing up the text block. And then I did bind them with book cloth and picked the covers that I liked. I put my own marble paper, end papers in each of them. So that was my little personalization, I guess you would say, of each of the books. One of the things that I will do differently when I make these again is on this Alice in Wonderland. It's so wide on the spine that this is doesn't work exactly the way that I would like it to work. So I think the next time that I make it, I'll put in what I call a spine stiffener, which is a little piece of thinner board, like tag board or something, in here to give a little more structure to the spine, because this little puppy's really thick. I mean, if you can see here, you know, usually you kind of do, that knuckle is a 1-inch spine, so you can see this is a 1-inch spine, and this whole great old big book is you know, 1 1/4-inch spine. They're almost exactly as thick as one another. So this, I think I'm going to need a little bit more support if it's going to wear and tear correctly. But I think this is a charming, wonderful project. If you haven't signed up for Nick's class, I would highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun practicing some of your sewing skills and your binding skills, turning corners, covering boards, that kind of thing. I think it's really, really good. So this is a book. I like the medieval period and the Renaissance. I love the imagery from that time period, and I wanted a unicorn book. And I like the whole idea of unicorns. They show up in a lot of literature and things that, you know, fantasy stuff. And I looked online for anything that was unicorn related, and most of it was very young. That's the nicest thing I could say. It was more like My Little Pony version of unicorns, and I liked the old paintings and tapestries with the maidens and unicorns. So I found a bunch of those images online and decided to make a journal with those being the featured item in the book. This is Florentine paper that I actually picked up when I was visiting Florence, and then in Photoshop I added a little frame kind of thing, put this piece of Renaissance writing here is from the Graphics Fairy. This is an image from On a Whimsical Adventure. This little piece of lace is from Graphics Fairy, and I just collaged it together and sized it to fit on the book. It's got a leather spine, some gold tooling, leather corners. My paper, once again, this is from the Graphics Fairy and their Mythical Beasts collection on the membership site. And then I created a bunch of semi-illuminated pages, or the large pages. The smaller pages, which are meant to be in a 5x7 book, so the images are 7x10, are from Medieval Mirage, and these, I'm trying to lay them out here so you can read them, are the 3 collections that I used in here. I just went through and picked and chose the ones that made a lot of sense to me. And then to create some window pockets, I had this from Hobby Lobby. It was a set of note cards and envelopes, and I took the envelopes and slid a piece of card in there so that I could cut out a window, put a piece of Mylar in the window, and then you can, you know, depending on what your favorite thing is, you can swap these in and out. And these are also journal cards, so, you know, they're blank on the back and you can write on them. And then inside the window, I lined the various little windows with something, and in this case, another piece of the Florentine paper that I had. I'm just about out of it, and I'm not ever going to get back to Florence, so I guess I had to find an online source. So there's a lot of little images in that Mythical Beast package, and I use them as digital stamps. And so any of these pages are from the Medieval Mirage. There are some just blankish pages, and that's just parchment paper. I had a lot of fun making the pages in Photoshop, finding different things. You know, this is a frame from the Graphics Fairy, but if you put two of them together, you can make a page like this. It kind of looks like an illuminated page. Another one of the images that I found online. So I used one of the images made into a little journal card, and then this is the card that would have gone in the envelope. And I cut down one of the pages and overlapped it here to make a pocket. So I just used two different Medieval Mirage pages to make that. I don't put a lot of the kind of embellishments that give bunches and lumps and bumps. I think you've probably heard me tell this 100 times, but I like to write in my journals. Now this was fun. She had these little envelopes. You can see this is just an extra piece. This was supposed to be like a bookmark or something, but it was close to this paper, so I used it as the hinge. But she had, it's like a coin envelope. And the front of the coin envelopes all had like a place for a window or a door, and I just cut it out and then inserted some of the pictures in here. There's 2 or 3 of these in here. And then she had these wonderful little tabs, which I just attached to the top. And so you get a little flip going there. Again, taking a second sheet of the paper and layering it up. Another one of the images from online that's turned into a journal card. And the card that came with the envelopes. So a lot of interesting color. I used some washi tape to dress up some of the plain parchment paper. She also has in those kits, I don't remember which one it was, that had these envelopes. So I just added a couple of envelopes that I can tuck in receipts and things that I want to keep when I journal. Usually there's something, always something two-sided, like a business card or something like that, and that I want to keep, and so I don't want to glue it into my journals, and so I like to have some sort of little pocket. This is a pocket as well, and it's just one of the images. The reason I didn't keep it as a journal card is that the back of it, the printing on there was off, and so you got like only half of the unicorn's head. So you can still take your mistakes and make them into something else. Here's another one of the envelopes, but this one, instead of cutting a window, I just put that on there. Another one of the paintings of Maiden, another one of the cards that came with the envelope. Now, I want you to notice you don't see any gaps here, and this was sewn with that Coptic method, folks, so you know, you can do that, and when you glue up the spine, those gaps disappear. These are Graphics Fairy items that I used. All of these things are Graphics Fairy. The other envelope, which I think is really quite pretty, and I just used some sprayings on the inside. And I hope that you know that what you do is you don't have it glued up, and the sewing is in this fold of the envelope, and then you come back and you glue it shut after you've finished the sewing. Another one of the Maiden in Unicorns. This is actually a enlargement of a tapestry picture. I love it because she's letting the unicorn see himself in the mirror. Vanity, thy name is unicorn. Another one of the ones where I put a piece of cardboard in here and used it to cut the window and line the back of the window with some Florentine paper. I will show you on that. When you're lining in here, you end up with this kind of little ridge thing here where the paper is. So what I did, you really want to be sure that this side of the lining, even if it doesn't go all the way to the back, that when you glue this in, that it's right up at the edge so that you don't have something that catches the card every time you go in and out. That would be my only trick. So what I usually do is mainly it's only glued here, so I can slide this all the way in till I line this up and then glue that edge, because nothing is going to catch it on the other end to pull it out. So you don't have to have a whole lot of glue in there. And I don't know if you know this, but the more glue you put in to your book, the more things glued, the stiffer the pages become. Glue is a stiffener of sorts. This is another one of those coin envelopes. And this one, what I did, instead of putting a Florentine or other paper behind it, I just took the door that you cut out, I just applied it to another piece of paper that was big enough to slide it in there and orient it to make the background. So that you have a good image even if you don't have anything in the pocket. And again, the little tabs I thought were really pretty. And this one is just glued on. And that's the end of the book. The back is just the plain Florentine paper. It is sprayed with matte acrylic spray. I think it's Krylon. I just get it at the hardware store. So that is the project for this week. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are all staying healthy and safe, and see you soon.